Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. We have another event today, the Sunken City, with two new items inside, a new artifact and a new back accessory, and we have the return of one of the best PvE item we have in the game. So you need to go in the hidden ruins right there, and this is the structure of the event. So we have some chests with different rarities, the advanced, the standard, and the basic, and you have the refresh button. So basically, how does it work? Normally you have almost or exactly the same race as the other events, just the structure of the item is different, alright? So if you want to pull here, always go in manual, don't unlock everything directly, always open the advanced one, then the standard, and then the basic chest, and you have the refresh button. I have two things here, two keys. I'm gonna explain to you how it works. So I'm gonna open this chest, right? There we go. So I got these clock windows, and then I'm just gonna click on refresh, guys. Alright, and then I'm gonna open another advanced chest. I don't remember exactly how are we getting some refreshes. You have these items right there. I don't know if we can purchase them or if we are getting some in some events. But you have the same shop as always, in which you can purchase some extra keys with some red diamonds, and then you have the other items. Always prioritize the divine hammers first, and then the soul crystal. This is always what I am taking in these events, alright? So you have the probabilities over here, guys. For the advanced chest, you have more rates to obtain the top prizes, so it's always better to open these chests in priority. Then you have the standard, a bit less rates, and then you have the basics, in which you have terrible rates. Okay, so this is basically how it works. For the items, if you want to check the items you can have on this event, you have these two. The artifact is there. This is the marionette angel. Every 11 seconds gain protection from an angel, increasing a lot of your damage resistances. Your damage res, the basic attack damage res, the combo damage res, the counter damage res, the skill damage res, and the power damage res by 16% each. And it expires after taking 100 times some damage or after 10 seconds. And after the protection expires, you are gonna deal a lot of damage onto the enemies. All enemies on the battlefield, by the way, so it works for the tournament, for example, and the guild war. 5,000% skill damage, and keep in mind that all these damage can crit and ignores damage immunity on the target. So this looks very strong. 5,000% skill damage, then 1,000% current basic attack, combo damage, and counter damage to all enemies. That's very nice in terms of damage, and the damage res is pretty cool, so pretty versatile artifact, I would say. A lot of protection, a lot of damage. Very nice. It looks a bit similar to a sword I was using for the Warbringer class. I'm gonna show that to you right there. This is I'm talking about the pixel sword, just in case you didn't know about that. This one, every 14 seconds it charges for 3 seconds and blocks 40% damage. Normally it mitigates more damage with the sword, and then after that it releases a slash, dealing 5,000% AoE skill damage, 1,000% current combo, counter, basic attack. This is exactly the same, can crit, but it breaks the shields. This is something more, and then you have some extra damage with the HP lost and stuff like that. So it looks a bit similar to that sword, in my opinion, at least on the paper. Then you have a back accessory. This one, you're gonna release some damage over time, in fact, and the longer you stay alive in battle, the more the damage you will inflict every time it will trigger. At the start of the battle, reduces all enemies attack speed, power attack speed, energy regen speed by 10%, and every 6 seconds you are launching an orb on the enemy, on the nearest single enemy. So in tournaments, only one target, the closest to your character, dealing 1,000% skill damage, 200 200% current combo, counter, and basic attack damage, ignoring the damage immunity, and can crit. After each orb you are launching to the target, the next one is gonna increase by 1 the orb you're gonna launch. Yeah, my English is terrible. So the first time you're gonna launch only 1 orb, then 2 orbs, then 3 orbs, up to 6 orbs maximum. So if you can stay alive long in battle, you are gonna release up to 1200% current counter, combo, and basic attack, and up to 6000% skill damage. That can crit. Very strong, isn't it? And it ignores damage immunity, by the way. So that looks very strong, right? But at the beginning of the battle, don't expect to deal any damage at all. So if you want to face a DPS class, forget about that back accessory. It will never work. On a long fights only, guys. All right, and for the price selection, you have the return of these 2 great items. You have the Omni-Link key. Final damage res increases by 10%, and then it's converting a part of your combo into counter, and your counter into combo, and then your skill into pile damage, and your pile damage into skill damage, and you are getting a bit more combo, counter, pile crit, and skill crit, something like that. So final damage res plus 10%, then combo plus 30%, counter plus 30%, skill crit plus 20%, and pile crit plus 20%. Just for these upgrades on your stats, this is insane, right? The best item you will have in the game to get a free crit rate on everything and counter combo. This is insane. Then every 1% combo damage increases counter damage by 0.4%, while every 1 counter damage increases combo damage by 0.4%. Every 1% skill increases pile damage by 0.2%, while every 1 pile damage increases skill damage by 0.2%. Calculated on the initial values at the start of the battle. So if you have some effects reducing your counter and stuff like that, this is not gonna take that into account, right? So on the paper, it looks great, okay? But then keep in mind that in PvP, you have a lot of damage reduction. So even if you're getting a lot of combo damage increase, if you are a Warbringer, this is not going to help you at all, because the enemies are going to nullify the combo damage you will have, because you won't have a lot. Same comment for the pile damage, for the skill damage, and for the rest. Only the damage, mostly the damage coming from your main class are gonna matter, all right? And the best thing to have is some damage reduction, ignore combo, ignore counter, stuff like that, depending on the class you have in front of you. So yeah, but you have the final damage res increased by 10%, so this is still a great artifact. But be careful if you think that you are gonna have insane power because you have a lot of numbers right there on that artifact. It is not exactly true. And then you have the Void Dice. This is one of the best, or maybe the best artifact for PvE. You can basically build your character around the evasion. Just put everything you have in the evasion, and this artifact is gonna kill the bosses for you guys. Final damage boost increases by 10%. After the battle starts, toss a void die every 14 seconds that explodes and hit all enemies after 2.5 seconds, breaking the shields and dealing true damage equal to 12% of target's max HP, ignoring damage immunity, and this works as well in PvE. Reducing also their final damage, basic attack damage resistance. No, this is not the resistance. It reduces their final basic attack damage, final combo damage, final counter damage, final pile damage, and final skill damage by 50% for 5 seconds. The effect cannot be cleansed, and it triggers at the start of the battle. So if you are using that, you need to play probably with a tanky build, so you are going to nullify a lot of the damage you take because you have a lot of damage reduction on the target, and you are dealing a lot of damage based on the target's max HP, so you're also killing tanks with that, I guess. So it is a great item for PvP, and it works as well for PvE. I know a lot of players just killing bosses without any stats. They are just killing everyone using that that artifact, right? So this is about the items we have in the events, and now let's do a tour. Right there we have that event. I don't know what it is yet. All right, okay, I know what it is now. You need to move your ship like that, avoid the attacks and kill all the monsters, and then at the end you have a boss. And yeah, we already know that. Sometimes you have some buffs. I just missed a buff. Alright, very nice, Akhtar. I'm just talking and I'm not paying attention to what I have on the battlefield. Alright, I'm getting a buff, so I have twice my missiles. And I suppose that the stage is going to be over in a few seconds already. Okay, the boss is here. Just need to avoid the attacks. That's the kind of gameplay. You already know that gameplay, right? Right, I'm getting one more heart. I'm losing one heart, but it's alright. Let's exceed that, claim the rewards, and let's check the rest. So we have that event. We are going to get some items that we can share with the players, depending on the amounts we have. And that's how it works. Basically, you claim, you gift to players. And then you have the battle pass in there, in which you have that new POW, which is increasing your evasion and damage on bosses. So very nice for PvE. I'm gonna take the two columns, by the way, on the left, as I'm always doing, so I have a bit more pulls for the event. Then we have this opening in 2 days and 14 hours. I probably have some information about the items in that event. I'm just gonna check that in 1 second, guys. It seems like this is a mount, flying mount. Periodically gains a damage blocking effect when enemies cast active skills. It further increases your damage output and action capability, growing stronger as the battle continues. Yeah, the detail of the mount is not that clear, so I don't know if it is going to be efficient though. But you will have a mount as the top prize of that event. And what event is it? Yeah, you have 2 crystals on the right, on the left. You need to break the crystals to find the top prize and stuff like that, to go from one floor to another and get to the floor in which you have the mount. So generally, to obtain the mount, you need to spend something around $250, something like that. But if you want to spend, guys, remember that, as always, you have a link in the description below to download and play the game through the app to its store. And by doing that, you are getting some cash back after every purchase. And you are supporting the channel, guys, if you are using the code LEGEND as written on the right of the screen and on the screen right there, like that. Just need to submit that. Thank you so much to everyone using the code. And finally, you have the ranking here. So it seems like someone decided to spend a crazy amount. All right, already 3,685 points. I suppose that he went for the 2 extra artifacts you have in here, because they are 2 great artifacts. Interesting. Alright, guys, so that was all for the video. Let me know what you think about that in the comment below. Don't forget to use my code on Afterweed to support the channel. Thank you so much to everyone doing that. Have a nice luck on the event. Let me know in the comment in how many draws you were able to get the items. Have a nice day, take care, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.